The TikTok psychic defamation case comes out of Idaho. It is moving alongside of the Koberger prosecution, wherein a professor at the University of Idaho was accused by a TikTok creator of orchestrating and carrying out the murder of the 4 victims in that case. This case went to summary judgment. On summary judgment motion, the court in this civil defamation case found the TikToker liable for defamation, responsible for defamation. But that does not answer the issue of damages. So the judge also allowed the professor to bring punitive damages forward. In Idaho, you have to get permission from the court to bring punitive damages, and the court granted said permission. So now the professor can go after the TikToker for damages, including punitive damages. This is defamation per se, so it doesn't have to be actual damages. And again, punitive damages, the punishment ones, the you done up damages. It's like, ooh, don't do that damages. So even though the issue of liability is resolved, the court has said, you're done. How much, Emily, how much can you quote nailed it? All. You done. All. The court has said you are done. You committed defamation. But the question of damages is outstanding. And so with the question of damages, it can go to a jury trial. And the jury trial will be asked, hey, how bad is it? And then what number do you put on that? That's where we are now. We are just looking into the filings after that summary judgment ruling. I listened in on several of these hearings. The TikTok psychic is representing themselves and made some very nuanced arguments. I know there is always temptation to be like, how are we even here? How is this case allowed? Why hasn't this been thrown out immediately? When somebody is saying that, what I'm saying is true is because I've spiritually divined it with my intuition, and I have aligned, this was in the motion, aligned my flesh with God, so therefore I am omnipotent in the motion and in the court hearing. How do you argue that? Well, the court is like, based on everything that was said, this is defamatory. And there is no evidence that what you said is true. So this is the spiritual witness case where the TikTok psychic said, I am a spiritual witness and I have aligned myself and am divine and therefore am omnipotent. So that's how we're here. The TikToker is still trying to relitigate everything that's already been litigated, including that the statements are privileged, that the court can't find her statements defamatory because they are her beliefs and they are her spiritual beliefs, and that violates her right to religious freedom, and therefore the court cannot find her statements defamatory because the statements are based on beliefs and the beliefs are religious beliefs, and because they're religious beliefs, they can't be defamatory. That's not going to fly, but she is asking not only to yeet the judge off of the case, but to have the judge dismiss the entire thing, throw out the order on summary judgment and the rest of it, and told the judge that the judge was biased, that the judge was being given an opportunity to correct their wrongs, and that the Ninth Circuit obviously won't agree with the court's ruling. It's not going to end anytime soon. And the difficulty in this is she is representing herself. The professor in this case is not. So the legal fees continue stacking up. It has to be incredibly frustrating for the professor to have to continue to fight these motions that are not well-founded and to have to continue to fight to try to clear her name. Yes, she won on liability. Yes, she might win on, well, she'll get some amount of damages, I would imagine, from a jury down the road, but then she'll have to go through the whole next phase of trying to collect those. This is a very long road for the professor, and I feel for her. The reason I wanted to cover this case initially and still cover it is to walk through the case process of the difficulty of defending yourself when somebody says something untrue on social media, because this is the remedy under the law for the professor. The professor sent cease and desist. The things you're saying aren't true. Stop saying them. The TikToker responded, no, I think they're true. I'm going to say whatever I want. And now we are 2 years into federal litigation that is showing no signs of slowing down based on the self-represented defendant here. For deep dives into the stories that I covered here, you can find them on my YouTube channel at The Emily D. Baker and The Emily Show podcast. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday. The podcast goes live on Wednesdays. And if you want to stay in the loop with everything I'm doing, receive the fastest notifications out there, and get more Law Nerd community, join me at lawnerdapp.com, our free app for iOS and Android.